Hey guys, welcome back to our Montana Homestead here in FS25. Well, it's harvest time for our wheat. We're here in August. Not much happened in the months since the last episode, of course, because in the last episode we got all our crops, everything was finalized. We got everything fertilized. We planted the soybeans over there. The only thing I've done since last episode was, well, I had to run the hoe on the soybeans. And that was... yeah, I guess that was it. They grew some weeds. I had to run the hoe over there, and that was literally it. So, yeah, late spring, early summer was pretty not busy on the farm because all our crops are already planted and everything. Here's our corn. Here, it's doing great. 60 acres of corn. Ready to harvest in 2 months. Yeah, here in October, we'll be harvesting this. 60 acres. Yup. That's going to be cool. But this month, we got the wheat. Yep, so this month it's the wheat, and then October it'll be corn, and then November probably the soybeans. Ready to go, ready to hit this. You know what we don't have? Let's let this warm up for a second. I forgot. You know what we don't have is we don't have a truck ready. Let's see. Let's park a truck in our driveway here. We don't need. Well, we'll just pull the semi up there. Yeah, we'll just pull the semi up there. This here is more than enough to hold our wheat harvest, but it's already all hooked up. We've got, I've been admiring our new silos. I showed them briefly last episode, or, well, you would have seen them anytime I drove by them. But, yeah, I like the setup. I was admiring them, I guess you could say. I like the new setup of the silos here. I mean, all we did was we added one more silo. I just added one more silo, but I think it looks pretty nice. And we're going to be putting that to work this year. Yeah, starting right now. Putting wheat in, in one of them. We'll just park our truck out here on the driveway. All right, harvesting wheat. We are dropping straw so we can make bales. So, yeah, we're going to be making bales too. Let's see, how much wheat? This is probably about somewhere between 10 and 15 acres of wheat here. Not a whole lot. We should get a good amount. We'll have some bales. Boy, it's a beautiful day here. There's been a lot of bad weather days. If you look back at the past few episodes, there's been a lot of bad weather days, and this is pretty unique. There's not a cloud in the sky. 8:21 a.m. August. Yeah. Actually, of course, there's rain predicted later today. We should have a look at that forecast and see when that is. Yeah, it's rained so much here. Yeah, you can see how wet the fields are. Look at my tires. Yeah, the fields are still wet from rain the previous month. Yeah, the field, it's just always wet here. The moisture is super high in these fields. I don't know if it's a thing with the realistic weather mod that I'm running. I doubt it because I've run on other maps, and other maps I've had to irrigate. This map might have some calendar aspect that reacts differently with this or something, or maybe this map just rains a lot. Maybe it just rains a lot here on this map, Judith Plains, Montana. Maybe it just rains a lot here. So we don't really have a use for the wheat. Mostly the reason we planted the wheat was for straw, so that, what the heck? What happened to my, 1 second here. Oh, there is now a zigzag in the front headland of my field. I was wondering what took me off my line. That's weird. When did that get here? Huh. Don't know. Anyway, maybe it's, it's there now. There's a zigzag in the front of my field. It's alright. Yeah, so mostly this is for straw to run our corn dryer, which is going to be put to work pretty heavily this October. We're going to have so much corn. You get a view of our corn. All that corn over there. All that corn over there. Yeah. Yeah, I just hopped out of the harvester here real quick. Our moisture is in the red there in the tooltip. Our moisture is really high, but we're getting a good yield. In fact, according to that, a pretty good yield, which is what I'm seeing here in the harvester too, because it's filling up pretty quick. It's hard to say, like, as compared to last year, I don't know, but all this rain, it's been honestly probably too much for the crops, but it says our yield here is 135%. That sounds like a good number to me. So this is this harvester's second season, I guess. Hard to believe, but yeah, we got this harvester last year for our yeah, we got this harvester for our harvest last year. The time did kind of fly by because, well, since we've got rid of the grass field, we no longer have the grass field across the street. There's not as much work every month as there was, but part of the reason I did that was because, well, I figured let's have soybeans. We don't need the grass. It was a lot of work every month that wasn't exactly paying off as much. Go ahead and see if we can. Well, I meant to put this in the front trailer, but I guess let's put this here. Yeah, it's really sunny today. I mean, look how red the harvester looks. I was just admiring how bright, like nuclear red the harvester is. It's the way it's just so cloudless and sunny. It's been dreary so much out here. So much. Man, look at all that corn. Yeah. So this year, since we've expanded our farm, now we have 100 acres. I haven't been doing contracts. I haven't done any contracts at all yet this year. Usually that's something I do. That's another reason why there's been, there's not been as much work this year because, well, stopped doing the contracts because we have more work on our farm, which we do on the months we actually work. So it kind of coming off, having a couple months off here. And that's, again, also why there wasn't an episode. There was just nothing happening in early summer. But it's kind of nice not to be worrying about doing contracts on other people's fields. We don't have a whole lot of money, but we don't need our money for anything. We got everything we need for our farm. And this winter, this harvest is going to be paying us off pretty well. So, while we're up here, let's check out our soybeans. When was that? I don't know. It was the month after the last episode, so I guess that was June. We ran the hoe out in the soybean field. Let me get to the end of this here. Did I not turn it off? Yeah, I turned it off. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, this harvester takes a minute to wind down RPMs. I guess because the hopper's still running. All right, let's see. Check out our soybeans here. All right, let's see. No weeds? No weeds. They got 3 more months to go. Yeah, we'll be harvesting these, I guess, in November. Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. We haven't done soybeans out here yet. Figured it would be a good crop as long as it was, it was May, and I was like, well, if we want to get rid of the grass, what crop could we plant here? And, well, could have planted corn, but we've got enough corn. I was like, nah, let's plant something different, So yeah, we're going to be using this straw and the corn dryer, but of course, we're harvesting, we got over twice as much corn as we had last year, and even last year, our corn dryer could not process it all by the time we went to market with it, but we'll get done what we can. I guess that time will be, again, we'll see in October, but we're going to have we got the straw production here, which is great, but simply won't have the capacity to dry all that corn. So we'll probably sell some of the corn. I imagine a good deal of it, probably at least half of it. Later in the year, we'll be selling it as it is. But yeah, we're just getting this straw here for the dryer. We'll have probably extra straw. We might sell some too. I think after we harvest this field here, maybe I'll bring out the baler, kind of mix it up some. I've not even been harvesting that long, and I'm getting tired here sitting in here. Yeah, it's not even been that long. I guess it's been a long day. Well, it's only 8:30. Well, okay, well, for me anyway. Yeah, so after this field, we'll come out here and get some of this baled, change up the pace a little bit. See, is there anything else we're doing this month? No, I don't think there's anything else this month. It's just harvesting the wheat. Well, I am recording this later in the day than I usually do. Earlier today, I did a whole... I was driving an ATS. I did the first video, which went up on the channel earlier today. I'm guessing you're going to be seeing this the next day. Earlier today, I put up the video with the Peterbilt in Texas So I was working on that all day. Yeah, so I am a little more tired than usual. I was just thinking, why am I so tired? And I was like, oh yeah, I've been truck driving all day. Of course, that video was short. The video was only 30 minutes, but there was a lot more, you know, I did a lot more driving than just that, really. And stuff like that. So it's nice after that to kick back and farm some. Oh, we are just about full. Drop this off in the truck. I like these trailers. These trailers just look so darn cool. They are good trailers. I got them off the Mod Hub, of course. You can find them on there. We'll probably be selling this wheat in December. Let's see. When is a good time to sell wheat? Well, when is the best time? Usually, I'm sure it's December. Yeah, December. Yeah, see, like, we wouldn't want to sell it now for $800 per 1,000 liters. Now we want to wait for December. So this will be sitting in our silo while we're here. What is the weather like? It is, oh, it says 10 o'clock. Could be as early, but since that only shows in 2-hour intervals, that could be 10 o'clock or it could be 9 o'clock. I don't know. It only shows it in 2-hour intervals. Oh, well, then we've got to hurry, I guess you could say. Let me check that again. Yeah, so it's going to be raining until, again, you know, we can't see for sure, but until 1 or 2 o'clock. So then, yeah, it's hard to say. Is it going to start at 9 or is it going to start at 10? I don't know. The forecast is, well, I guess that's cool. You know, forecast is not to the minute. It's, I guess that's a little better than, you know, it would be kind of weird if we knew the exact minute it started raining. We don't. We just have a 2-hour window as to when it'll start raining. Or a 1-hour window, however you want to look at it. Sometime later this morning, it's going to start raining. And when it does start raining, it's going to be raining for, well, I guess, you know, about 4 hours or so. I bring all that up because, of course, we can't harvest when it's raining. It'll let us bale straw, but I kind of say, no, we should really shut down all the field work. So, you know, I used to have a mod back in FS22 that, I don't remember what it was. I guess I could look to see if it's for FS25. But I used to have this mod. It made it so that it added mud and rain. So when it rained, it just became impossible to get off. It just became impossible to work in the fields, I should say. Yeah, I did it by adding a mud factor, and the more rain there was, like the more it was raining, the longer it was raining, your tractor would sink more in the fields. It was a really cool, awesome, immersive mod for FS22. I forget exactly what it was called. And yeah, it was pretty cool. If you tried to work in your fields in the rain, yeah, you could for a minute, you could for a bit, but depending on the tractor, you know, the kind of tires it had, how much horsepower it had, depending on a lot of factors, it might start sinking down in the mud. You could get your tractors just straight up stuck out in the field. I really like that. I mean, how realistic is that, right? It's pretty realistic. I'm gonna look to see if there's something like that for FS25, but as it is, I've got other things that modify, you know, rain and weather and stuff. Wouldn't want anything to interfere. Well, I figure, I've been looking at the clock and thinking, yeah, when we finish this field, we're gonna go ahead and bale. We're gonna see, because, yeah, so we don't know if the rain's gonna start at 9 or if the rain's gonna start at 10. Either way, I mean, if it starts at 9, we don't have enough time to harvest the next field. If it starts at 10, we've got enough time to do whatever we want. So we may as well bale the straw, because either way, either way, the field either will have to wait or it can wait. Yeah, I guess that's the way to look at it. Our other field over there, it'll either have to wait or it can wait. So we'll bale up the straw after this here. Yeah, it looks like we're getting a good amount of wheat. Drop this off of the truck here, and we'll have us a few more rows to do, and this field will be done. Yeah, one thing I just realized. Yeah, I should only be putting this in the front trailer. We're going to be putting this in our silos over there. Our silos... Yeah, I'm going to have to detach that rear trailer. Yeah, I should only be using the front trailer because we're loading it into our... We have flat bottom bends, so we're loading them from the top with augers. I can't back up that rear trailer to the auger. We should only be using the front trailer. So what I'm going to have to do is, to empty that rear trailer, I'm going to have to disconnect both trailers from the truck or pull around the other semi. Yeah, the other one's right back there. Yeah, okay. I'll hitch the other semi up to that rear trailer, and that's what I'll do. And then I'll just be using the front trailer. Yeah, I don't like pulling them. I don't like disconnecting all the trailer stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it's a hassle if you don't have to do it. You know what would actually be better is if we used a tipper. Actually, yeah. Huh. Yeah. We're going to pull the tipper around. The tipper would be better overall. It's easier to back in absolutely every way. I don't know why. I grabbed the semi because it was the first thing I saw. But the semi, I mean, that's what we would use if we're transporting large amounts of bulk several miles down the road. We'd be using that. We're literally only transporting this 150 yards to our silo. So we'll take what we got to the silo and then we'll pull up our tipper. Like I said earlier, I'm tired. I guess I'm not with it. I mean, it's fine, but I was not with it on that one. Well, that's just about it for our first wheat field. Right before 9 o'clock. We have got her all done. All right, so let the straw discharge here. We're going to pull around the tractor. We're going to empty this into the tipper. So what we need to do is, yeah, let's get this semi emptied out. I should have brought the, yeah. We're going to grab the John Deere and bring around our big red tipper. We'll be using that. So for the semi, I think the easiest thing to do would be we're going to disconnect trailers, pull off the rear one, put it on the red semi, tip those into the silo. Let's get this pulled over here where we can pull the tipper up to it. Let's see here. We need to find which silo is going to be our grain, or I mean our wheat silo. Well, I guess we'll put it in the new one. Let's see. I haven't used it yet. This West Steel right here, this closest one, we haven't used it yet. Well, let's see. We can back the trailer up right here. Yep. Let's see here. Let's get this guy open. Not sure where the trigger... Oh, wait. Did I hit it? No. Here, I got to pull this up. I don't know where the trigger for this silo is. Yeah, I have no earthly idea. Where's the... There it is. There we go. Oh, as far as I can zoom out. Well, I heard it open. Close this. Oh, wait, actually, we'll need that help window here in a minute anyway. I heard it open. Well, we'll find out with the auger. Let's run this over there. Okay, there we go. This up. Yep, silo's open. Let's run this around over here. This is our newer pipe. We haven't used this, but I think we used this once, breaking it in here. This came up for sale used last year, I think it was. And it was too good a deal to pass up. Is this going to reach that? Because this is at its max height. I'm sure. Well, uh-oh. Okay, so, like I said, well, we have used it once. Yeah, if you recall from our big corn harvest last year, we used this actually to take grain out of the silo. I haven't used it to put grain into the silo. Well, this is problematic. But, you know, it actually kind of works out in a way that you don't yet realize. Let's see here. Here's what we're going to do. Well, let me show you how this works out. There is there's an auger that's used for sale right now. And I was like, no, we don't need that. We have to. Well, we might just pick this up. That's tall enough. Yeah, that's tall enough. Now, this is a fancy one. I haven't bought one of these because we don't need all that fanciness, but guess what? 9 grand, we'll take it. All right, I like getting new toys. Hey, great excuse to buy that. This won't reach our silo. You know, it was sitting here, it was collapsed. Here, let's collapse it back down. It was collapsed, but it did look, I was thinking, I didn't say anything to you guys, I was thinking earlier today, I was looking at this thinking, that doesn't look as tall as the other one. I was like, will that even reach up there? No, it won't. Now, how do we, oh, this thing hitches automatically. That's right. So here's what we're going to do. Let's shut it down. Okay. We got some fun things to do. We get to play with toys. Woke me up a little bit. Well, not that I was asleep, but I was a bit tired. Now we got something to do other than just harvest. Let me put this away. We don't need that for the moment because... Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to get the tipper out. Yeah, well, I started off today, and it's like, what do we do? Well, I guess we're harvesting. Harvest. Now, whoops, sorry, I was just looking up at the sky. It still looks clear. Yeah, I guess we got us an hour or so before it starts raining. Yeah, we're not going to get to the other field until later this afternoon. There's no way. Well, I mean, we could get everything done in the next hour, but now we got to run to town. Pick up our new toy. We're going to take that one down there and sell it. We could sell it here, but we got to go down there anyway to pick up the new one. May as well take it with us. Let's get this out here. So this is way better to fill the silos with than the semi-trailer. This is easier to back up. Well, this trailer has four-wheel steering for one. And those trailers, I have to lift the axles on the trailers to even somewhat maneuver them. Yeah, that's the other thing. They're not the easiest to back up. If you've seen previous episodes, you would know what I mean. All right, just shut that down. We're going to leave this here for a second. And let's break these trailers apart. Let's at least get this stuff kind of the way I wanted to organize it. So here's what we got to do. We're going to drop that off there. Actually, scratch that. Drop that off. Yeah, see, I made a mistake putting it in that rear trailer because now we got to play this game. We're going to park this over in front of the shop. Right here, we'll park this. There we go. Come back and get that. Okay, we need to lift the axle on this. There we go. It's the only way, if you get these trailers, it's the only way you're backing these things up. I mean, not really. You can back them up, but you'll notice that they're really sluggish to steer. Yeah, you got to lift the axle up. All right, we are moving vehicles around. Yeah, sometimes on the farm, it's what we got to do. So I figured this is the easiest way to move these trailers. I mean, as it is, I had to break them apart. Now that we got two semis, we'll just pull them. Yeah, instead of using the same semi-tractor for each, we'll just do it this way. Just kind of get this backed up here out of the way slightly. Yeah, I don't know where I'm parking stuff. They're still a pain to back up. I think the reason these are so hard to back up is they're short. They're short trailers, and I don't know. Yeah, short trailers whip around faster. They're not like. I think most people would agree longer trailers are easier to back up. Short trailers, shorter wheelbase, they snap around faster and makes these things difficult. They're kind of a pain. These are best to use delivering to big sale points where you can pull through. All right, so we are going to get in a Unimog. This has got to be the world's handiest little farm truck right here. Yeah, it's pretty darn handy. And we are going to take this down to the shop, sell it, and come back with a new one. Now, we could just bring over that other auger. Yeah, we could fill this silo with that red auger. Oh yeah, of course we could. But this sounds like a fun project. We're going to take this down there and see what we can get for it. We got this, probably not much, because we got this used. It was the same kind of deal as the one we just bought. Yeah, so. And that sucks. This auger isn't long enough. It's weird that, it would be this long, but you know, like, it's longer than you need to unload a silo with, which, to be fair, we could have kept it for that, but we have a... Yeah, you know what? You know what? That's true. It's great for unloading silos. See, we've got that... You know, I'm going to turn around. We're going to keep this one. We're going to keep this one. Oh, no, where can I turn around? We're going to have to pull in this farm back here. Oh, there's cars coming in this lane. Get over here. Nice and careful, like. Yeah, we've got a short one. Here's the thing. We've got a short auger, but it really sucks. It's very, very slow. Do you recall the harvest episode, last harvest episode, when we were trying to... Yeah, it was this last winter. We were trying to make the money to buy that $1 million 40-acre field. And it was taking like 10 minutes to fill the trailers. Yeah, that was that short auger we have. This is kind of long. This is kind of overkill to, you know, to empty a silo with, but it's too short to fill them with. Because see, yeah, I was on the way back to the store, right? And I was like, I don't know what the point of this thing is. It's too short to fill the silos with. Yeah, but it's great to unload them with. So we're gonna take this back to the farm. I'm gonna haul. Actually, we're gonna leave. We're gonna keep all of our silos. We're gonna keep all of our augers and just go get that new one. Yeah. Well, the short green one we have, which sucks because it's so slow. Yeah, but it's just fine for using with the smaller silos. So, yeah, just a little fun saying here, trying to figure out how best to work our flat bottom bends. I think I'm actually overtaking a car in the Unimog. All right, down here at the store, there is our new pipe waiting for us. And, well, they parked it in kind of a awkward place, didn't they? Yeah, if that thing ain't long enough, nothing is. Look at this guy. What a beauty. It's a fancy one. All right, we're going to have to get to this hitch up here somehow. All right, let's, well, that's why we got this parked here. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can rotate it out a little bit. Of course, we want to be careful with it. Well, we're going to get repairs on it anyway. It's used, so we're going to want to get repairs on it. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see if we can... this up under the front of it here and lift it up a little bit. Just kind of rotate this out. Oh, you know what I... Wow, guys. Yeah, I completely spaced. You know why I completely spaced? Because I was just thinking, hey, we should get in this and see how tall it is. Yeah, I know. If you thought it... Guys, I had a brain fart. I didn't even... Yeah, I know. I could have just backed it up. These things move. It literally has a motor that turns the wheels. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I was going to see how tall it is. Surely this is tall enough. Where's the controls? There it is. Oh, yeah. This thing is... Let's just see here. Well, I got it out, but yeah, I could have easily driven it out. There we go. Fully extended. Yeah, that's a pretty big... yeah, it's tall enough. It's got to be tall enough. Normally, I wouldn't think twice about it. It's just that the other one wasn't. So now I'm all like, oh, I wonder if this one is. Right, so we are going to take this into the shop and get it repaired. It's about halfway down on its service. I mean, as we did get it used. You know what? It does drive under its own power, but it's incredibly slow. Let's pull it in there with this. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't just back it out of the thing. I wasn't thinking. This could be kind of hard to get in and then out of the shop. Whoa, yeah, I can't even turn it that sharp. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have to drive it in there by itself. I can't pull it. Yeah, it won't. The hitch on it's not very long. It's got this, like, non-existent drawbar. So I can't turn sharp enough with it. And if I did get it in there, there's no guarantee I could back it back out. So, repair $791. All right. All right, well, let's get this back to the farm. We're going to have to watch turns. I can't turn more than about this much. So we're going to have to watch that. If I turn too sharp, my truck will hit the hitch and I'll go up on two wheels. You know, it occurred to me on the way back here, I bet, actually, I don't even have to bet because I know this is long enough. I could use this to empty one of our silos into the other. Well, actually, that'd be a bold claim because it's not about length. It's about, it'd have to be the exact right length. But I bet it could, because this is adjustable. Like the feeder part of this auger is adjustable. Could probably do that. Not that I'd ever have to, but if I ever had to, I probably could empty one of these into the other. So we are facing the wrong way with this, but it can move itself. So we'll just park it right here. There we go. Now let's get this guy hooked up and running. Oh, you know what? Well, we'll hook the MOG up to this, so we can move this around. That way we can put the semi-trailers back together. Boy, today started off, we were in a harvest, and that's all there was to do. But, well, I mean, things came up. I found a reason to buy a new toy. Well, that's always cool. All right, so let's get this. Darn it. Controls are different on some of these. Yeah, I'd say this thing is big enough. Well, hey, the other one wasn't, and this was, it just so, you know, I wasn't going to buy one of these. This has functionality that we don't need for our farm. But $9,000, you know, it was good, deep, discounted price. It's used. Wow, this thing, yeah, without even, look at that, without even breaking a sweat, I had to lower it down, actually. Let's see, let me get it positioned here. Yeah, without even breaking a sweat, this thing is hardly even raised at all, actually. Yeah, right there, yeah, right there. Right there. All right, now, what are the controls for, put this out here. Let's see, we're tipping from the semi-trailers. We'll position this right here. There we go. Okay. That'll be perfect right there. See, this has the functionality of the rotating, you know, feed end on the auger, which is functionality we don't need, but it's going to come in handy right here. So who am I to argue? Okay, we want to change our tip side to rear top. Let me straighten out a little better. That should have been it right there. There we go. Just rotating my view so we can see the, there we go. Sorry about all the camera thing there. I just wanted to get a good view of it going into the silo. That's cool. Alrighty. That one's empty. Okay, so this is the rear trailer here. We're going to reassemble these out here. And yeah, we want a nice open spot to reassemble these. Pull this truck around over here. It was hitched up to this flatbed. I'll get these trailers put back together in my own time. For now, we're just going to get these tipped into the silo, and we're going to get on baling. Let's get this one backed up to the auger here. I mean, this is a cool, like I said, it's a really cool auger. I wanted an excuse to buy one, but I just couldn't justify the extra functionality of it, which turns out we got at a discount, so works out. Man, this thing is so hard. I'm trying to precisely back it up there to the thing. There we go. There we go. Get that in the silo. That thing's cool. Yeah, it's cool to have this out here. Now this trailer is a dream to back up. Well, I went to grab this tractor to start doing the baling, and I realized, oh hey, as long as, you know, we're already hitched up to this trailer, and this trailer has grain. There we go. Perfection. Actually, that is perfection. Yeah, this trailer was a dream to back up. You could drive this thing backward down the highway. All right, let's just go ahead and leave that there. Let's grab our baler and let's get out here and make some straw. All right, now as it happens, we have grass in here, and I have not been able to empty this baler early. Even though, yeah, I don't know why. I can empty balers early, but not this one. There's no option for it. Let me make triple sure. There's no way to kick this grass out of here. There is no option. And pushing the button doesn't do it. So, even though I have the mod, unload bales early, I cannot in this baler. So, no choice. We got to run with it. However, we got to change some settings. Okay, always remember, first things first. Let me see. Reset bale counter. Okay, 0. Right? Now, make sure you're on the right size. Always do these things first. 180 centimeters. We're making, yeah, 180. We want big bales. These are 11,000 liter bales. These are big, big bales. Too big to wrap, so make sure the wrapper is off. We're good. Yep, we're good. Always review those settings. Well, because it's so important, because you get out to the field, you forget to do that, and then the first bale comes out, it's all wonky, and then it won't wrap, or it won't fit with your other bales or something, and then you have a spare bale that won't go with anything else, and it's annoying. Yeah, it's just annoying. That said, our first bale out might be 150 centimeters because, oh yeah, because that's what started in here. So we're going to have a weird bale anyway. But for, in my defense, I tried to kick it out. Yeah, so our first bale is probably going to be 150 centimeters. We'll see here in a second. But then the rest will be big bales. Yeah, so this bale here is only 72, 73, 74, 7,500 liters. Yeah, this is a 7,500 liter bale. The next one should be 11,000. There we go. And so, there we go. Well, I knew today we were harvesting wheat. I thought it might be kind of boring. I guess not. I had fun going to the store, getting the new auger. I had fun playing with that. The rest of the day is harvesting wheat and baling, but that's okay. I'm glad we had some interesting stuff to do in the video today instead of just driving up and down rows of wheat. I felt like it was going to be boring. I did, before I started recording, I thought that auger looked a little short, but then I was like, no, surely it'll reach. And I'm always looking for an excuse to buy more toys. You know, that extends to real life too, of course. Anything. Well, yeah, I'm thinking about buying a new steering wheel. I was talking about that earlier today in a previous video, in my truck video. I was like, you know, yeah, always looking for an excuse to get new toys, and that was a great excuse to get a new auger, so I'm glad we got that. Yeah, this is making big bales now. Always make sure your equipment will handle them. Of course, our bale trailer will handle these big ones. I have already checked that. I've made too many mistakes with not checking my bale size before I started baling, not checking bale size before I started wrapping. There was a screw up with that back in the Shpakovo series. Yeah, when I was doing a bale wrapping contract this is back in FS22 days, and I baled half the field, you know, a particular size, only to find out that the bale wrapper I had would not bale that size. Like, I baled like half the field in 240 centimeter bales without realizing that the bale wrapper would only wrap a maximum of 220 centimeters. So what I ended up doing, probably tearing them apart and rebaling them. I don't know. It was yeah, you always want to check this stuff before you go. And bale, yeah, so here's our big bales, 11,000 liters. That's a big bale. How much does that thing weigh, do you think? Let's see. 11,000? No, 11,000 liters, duh, obviously. Actually, it says 460 kilograms. Now, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. It's half a ton. Yeah, but honestly, I thought well, I mean, look, it's as tall as I am. It's almost as tall as I am. It's a big bale. Right. Let's get going here. Anyway, so I'm going to get the rest of this baled. Then we're going to get onto the other field. Actually, you know, if I start harvesting right now, well, I was going to say, if I start harvesting right now, maybe I can get the harvesting done before the rain, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to come out here and bale in the rain anyway. So I'm going to keep doing this, and then I'll get to the harvest later after lunch, after the rain. Thanks a lot for following along, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you know, and tell me anything you want down in the comments below. I always read the comments. I'll reply to you guys. Helps out a lot when you hit that like button or comment, such like that. And I'm looking to increase the channel a little bit. Channel's been it's been growing. The channel has been growing. I'd like to see it grow more. So I appreciate you guys watching. I do. Thanks a lot. And I'll see you guys tomorrow in a new video. I'm going to get to work here. Thanks, guys. Peace out.